And then, I mean, they flip a tank on its butt, just pow, straight upside down. And that charge inside, just the pressure, overpressure inside the tank kills everybody in it. In Iraq, we used to dye our hair and tan our skin up, wipe on stuff and this, that. It works for 500 yards.
Yeah.
But you get up close, it don't.
It don't work anymore.
It don't work at all. I mean, period. So it doesn't work. But it works for what you're doing it for. It keeps you a sniper from shooting you from a distance when you're doing something, in a village or something. But same thing with that. I mean, it was kind of crazy, but that was supposed to be the scary guy. And then I get, later years,
Shit himself.
a couple years later, I'm like, he ain't scary.
Yeah.
That's the guy who changes the diaper on the scary guy.
Yeah.
His kid, you know what I mean? Something like that. And he's like, damn.
Did you, when you were in Bosnia, Kosovo, anything like that, did you lose any guys during this or clean?
No injuries, no.
That's great.
I can't remember anybody shooting anybody at all, as a matter of fact, or anything. I mean,
clean job.
It's just I think the threat was gone. I don't think anybody really had the facility to come do it. You know what I mean? And by then, there's so many American soldiers running around, or special ops guys running all over the dad-burn place. We had all these different houses all over all the cities, and then you had the Polish there, and you had French. Not that matters.
I've heard some. Wait, are you talking French Army or Intel?
Army.
Oh, okay, all right, never mind. I was gonna say I've heard some of their intel is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I don't really say the regular dudes. I'm just making a joke, but they abandoned us on an objective one time and just kind of drove off.
Wait, what happened there?
The Albanians are pissed off and they're going around burning all the Christian churches.
Oh.
For some reason, there's this gigantic riot, and they're just running around, pulling up stop signs, hitting people, killing people with it. And so he called special forces teams out and said, go to this church, you go to that church, you go to this church, because they're still, they're Serbian churches and they're Christian churches. They don't need to go burn them down just for the hell of it. You know how they do. And we got this little white, funny little cute country church, went over, pulled up there. There's like 40 French guys standing there all around it. These guys are about, 500 yards down the road coming. And the French are like, and there's like 8 of us, 8 or 9, 2 Humvees. We pull up and they're like, you guys got it? And they just dashed, man. And they drove off, man. I was like, damn, okay. So I didn't know how big this thing was, and so it was luckily they were downhill. And so as they're coming up, we got up there on top of the buildings looking down there, and I was like, dang, that's a lot of people. I mean, it's like 1,000. You know what I mean? I don't need to be dealing with that. So we just took engineer tape and put it all the way around the Hummer and the church. And I had my interpreter. I stood on top of that. Me and Matt Gerard and another guy were standing on top of this thing and said, and Matt's, we call him the silverback. I mean,
the silverback?
Yeah, because he ain't playing around. He's a big, brawny dude, and he's one of those. He's not in the mood for all that. Always in a bad mood to start with, so don't piss him off worse.
You need guys like that, though.
Yeah, you do. No nonsense. So we get on top of the deal. There's a few of us all scattered around, and get a 240, and just holding it.
Squad automatic machine guns.
Yeah.
I was thinking Edward 40 hands. That's where my head went.
And just said, had my interpreter say, hey, and everybody's, several guys with guns.
Right.
This, that.
There you go. How you doing?
I'll take one.
My left hand.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. And then,
Aaron, you good?
so we said, well, if you step over that white stripe there, that engineer tape, which is nothing more than like 2-inch tape, it doesn't stick to anything, you just wrap it around stuff, guard stuff with it. Said you step over that, you get shot in the face. And
not good.
And they come running up and they're like, that's funny. And then we hopped on top of the Humvees, and everybody's standing on top of stuff, and everybody's got guns. And they're like, oh, okay, that seems more serious now with a big chain link of freaking guns, ammo coming out of this thing, and linked ammo. And there's this one dude standing right in the very front, man. He's just like, doop, 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 just putting his foot over it, like, or what?
Dude, 240 is a sweet gun.
Dude, can we pull this up? A 240?
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture this.
They
This
replaced
is a new
it with
one.
what now?
Well, that replaced the M60 machine gun.
And then they just upgraded the
240 machine gun.
Yeah.
We should do it.
M240, yeah.
Oh, those things.
Yeah, it's nasty.
They're fun.
How much does that weigh? Gun like
It's not that bad compared to
28 pounds, 22 pounds. It's not terrible for a machine gun.
I thought.
Well, what it is
49.7-inch length.
Yeah.
You got to carry an extra barrel on you with
Muzzle
that thing.
velocity,
Yeah.
2,800 feet per second. That'll do it.
That barrel, once you get cranking, that sucker
That's
will
less
glow.
than I thought
Yeah.
it would be.
You
But
make
you can-
that thing sing, and that barrel glows, and you got to change it quick.
That's like
But the
actually.
cool thing is that it's easy to change because unlike all the other
Yeah.
barrels, just when you just go push a button, turn the handle, it pops off, snap the next one on, and keep on rocking.
Don't
That's like
touch
the
that barrel.
That's like the price of a really nice MacBook too. It's not like crazy.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
I'd rather have that.
Me too. Yeah.
Judging by your computer, I see.
and it's a 308. So anyway, we're just standing there with that thing, and this guy goes. We're like, dude, honestly, I mean, we've made a statement here, and we need to make sure we have control of this. We're here only because you're such a large force for a small force.
Right.
We're not gonna play with you at all. You might get us, but it's gonna be ugly before it's over with. So please just go somewhere else. Blah blah blah. This that. He steps or whack. Gets a 3-round burst in the chest.
Ooh.
And the whole crowd disperses, starts walking down the freaking road.
We'll be right on our way.
Just do. They just took off walking. It's like, okay, cool.
I'm surprised it was only 3 rounds.
Yeah, somebody did a
that?
good burst.
Was it? Yeah.
That'll do it.
Proper 240 versus, 7 to 9?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
How long
So
was
somebody had some discipline there.
How long was this last campaign in Kosovo? How long were you there hunting these guys?
4 months each.
4 months. Okay. How many guys did you catch?
Probably 10. I mean, over the whole deal. I mean, and how badass were they and all that? I don't know. They were the scariest people they had. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody, if there were some badasses there, they'd already decided, screw it. I think I'll just go to Chechnya and do it over there for a while or something.
It's a good place to do it.
Yeah, it was a good place to do bad
Chechnya's a
things.
good spot for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
A
So
lot of good things
they
happening.
didn't do crap.
Longest
And,
war, right?
Yeah. Crazy time.
Good place to get something really bad done to you if you get
Yeah.
caught. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Have you spent time in Chechnya yourself?
No,
Doesn't sound like you have plans to get a ticket there.
I would not want to go strolling around Chechnya by myself.
yeah.
Yeah, let the Russians handle that.
They have that.
Yeah.
And I've watched videos of the Russians that went and did it, and it didn't work out. It was kind of, you want to have a nightmare over something. That's a quick way to have.
I can imagine being a Russian soldier and being told that, hey, you're going to Chechnya. It's your next spot. Like,
And you're the
Come on, man.
You're the single guard on this gate out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Nah.
No
that ain't
thanks.
it.
I'm cool.
But during this whole time, one of the really sad parts about the global war on terrorism and that whole era is how Afghanistan culminated in 2021, where you feel like you basically go back to square one. And the worst part about it to me is that, we can talk about, again, like we're going to spend a lot of time on Iraq. I promise it's coming, people. But, we can talk about that and whether or not we should have been there. I certainly have some thoughts there. A lot of people do. But Afghanistan was where the Taliban was harboring Al-Qaeda and the guys who did these attacks. And so I've always thought, I'm like, well, yeah, of course you had to fucking go there. Like, that's what it is. And what's really sad to me is that, unless I'm very wrong here, correct me if I'm wrong, we were very successful at the beginning of that campaign there. We ran this historical paramilitary campaign on the ground. I know maybe some stuff about you can't talk about, but like from a general standpoint, just analyzing as a military guy, where you had intel and military supporting each other in highly specialized teams of the best, most talented soldiers going in there, and basically piece by piece taking apart the Taliban within that country and taking control of it. And then throughout 2002, yes, there are American casualties, which is always horrible because it is a war, but like we have control of the country. We're trying to transfer it over to some sort of democratic leadership, if you will, before eventually, we kind of take our eye off the ball and go to Iraq and put all our resources there. But in 2002, like, if you don't mind, take me back to the vibe there. Like, did you view this as like, oh, warfare is completely changed now because of what we just did, and we're going to be able to do it like this anywhere? Or...
Well, it's kind of hard to say because at that point, that was a new thing. If you're talking about 02-ish time, 01 and 2.
Yeah.
01 beginning of 02. That's a brand new beast, boy. And the only people that ever done anything there is third group, fifth group, really. I mean, as far as anything extensive, because they trained over there and they trained troops over there and they, did all that kind of stuff. And they knew the terrain better than most people did too. But the way the war was fought was a whole different matter. A lot of people knew very well how the Afghans like to do their battle and how they like to fight and how they like to attack and all this. And consider, I mean, they whipped the Russians' ass a lot. Yeah. With almost nothing. You know what I mean? Like pitchforks and shovels almost, you know? And so now you're like, well, this is a capable bunch. Now that you're giving a bunch of firearms and things that really do stuff, you're talking about people that are a tough bunch now. And they're crafty, and they know the terrain inside out, and they live it. And so the tactics had to be taken very, very seriously. I wasn't one of the people that indoctrinated all the tactics on that particular thing because I got there too late, you know, to be somebody that really mattered on all that stuff. Iraq was my part for the initial invasion and all that stuff. So Afghanistan was theirs. But we definitely had to change our view on things. And another thing you couldn't do is go, this is a third world country. Are they really a threat? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they are. You know what I mean? Whereas some other countries, you know, you might be like, well, you know, they're still living in the Stone Age. You know, they're not really that big a deal. We got night vision goggles. We got all this. I mean.
What made Afghanistan different and like the Taliban different?
They came up with more technology right off the bat. They knew how to build bombs. They knew how to build directional or EFPs.
The guerrilla warfare was just
brutal and ruthless.
Way more advanced than
you were in Afghanistan too, right?
Briefly,
You were more Iraq. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they were getting help from a lot of people that mattered too, because like Iraq and Afghanistan, the Iranians were jumping deep into all that. What's funny is, I believe that we taught a whole bunch of Iranians how to build all these EFPs and stuff way back.
Oh, before the revolution.
Yeah. And they turned around and came back and taught Afghans and Iraqis how to build EFPs. Because IEDs, you know, a big bomb is one thing. Depending on how it's detonated, if it's initiated by a mechanical, like a guy pushes a button, I can beat that pretty often. Not every time, but, you know, changing my speeds, hauling butt, not hauling butt, you know, this and that. And it's hard for me to calculate an exact distance and point, you know, because he's way out there somewhere. Yeah. And it's hard for me to hit dead on. And if I'm not on it, you know, it might kick it up on two wheels or something like that, but not wipe you out. In the beginning, especially, they weren't as accurate. And then they got to where they're better at it and started daisy chaining them, where you get like a bunch of them in a row, setting those off. And then they started putting different initiators on, like a tripwire style of thing, pressure plates, that kind of stuff. They
started directing the bombs too.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Which is crazy. So they become anti-tank or anti-troop carrier. Instead of that blast just going outward, now it's all the forces going through the vehicle to kill everybody inside of it. Cell phones.
Cell phones, remote control cars.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because those things work real good.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they flip a tank on its butt, you know, pow, straight upside down. And that charge inside, just the pressure, overpressure inside the tank kills everybody in it.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.